In this video, we are going to be learning how we can deploy our static web application inside our AWS S3 bucket and how we can serve these static files using CloudFront and use automatic SSL from CloudFront. On using CloudFront, we can serve the static files to our end user at lowest latency. So let's learn how we can do it. So here I have a weather application in React that is running everything in client side. If we visit the localhost 5173, in that case you can just view the application. It's a very simple application. If we type the name of the city, location or anything, it just return and give the weather data. So it's a very simple weather app. And what we want to deploy this application inside our S3 bucket so that we can access the application anywhere, and we'll be also linking CloudFront with it so that we can get these files at very less latencies. So first, here you can either create a new bucket or use an existing bucket. It doesn't matter, since we are not going to be using this option where we are going to be doing static website hosting directly in AWS S3. So this is mainly not so good, as here AWS also say that we recommend AWS Amplify for hosting. But instead of Amplify, we can just use something better. Since we are dealing with client-side static files web application, in that case, we don't need to deploy it inside Amplify. If we are dealing with it Next.js or any other server-side rendering website, in that case, you should consider Amplify. But for this, we are not going to be using this option. Instead, we'll be using some another better option. So here, we will just create a folder. Let's name it as weather app. For this, keep it default server-side encryption. And now here, we need to upload our files. As we know that in React, we need to build the application. So here we can simply use npm build. It just transforms the files into static HTML, CSS and JavaScript files. It's all inside the dist folder. And we need to open this folder. We need to open this inside our file explorer. Just copy these files and we need to upload in our weather app file like this. Let's just upload it. So now we have uploaded our files for our weather app. All the files are in the same order. Inside assets, we have all the files. Now, if we try to access index.html directly, it will not work. Even if we try to access using signed URL, we'll get something like this because HTML, CSS and JavaScript are not getting loaded. If you check the console, you'll find that these files are not getting loaded. If we use this option, then it will not work so good. So instead, we'll just use CloudFront with it. Inside your AWS CloudFront, create a distribution. Let's name it as weather app. This is a single website or app. For now, we don't need any custom domain. Let's click on next. For this, we'll select AWS S3. We'll select the bucket, but this time we'll go inside the bucket. We'll be only selecting this folder, weather app. Now, as you can see here, the origin part has been set to /weather app, and it's a private bucket, so we need to click it tick, and let's use origin recommend settings. If we want, we can also add some header and other timeout. For this, let's just use the origin setting. Click on next. We don't need security firewalls. And now we are just ready to create our own distribution. Here, one thing we need to do, like default object is set to none. In this case, since our default object is going to be index.html, we can just specify that index.html and just save the changes. And here we are using use all edge locations. So it will try to serve the users from nearest edge location so that it can have the very less latency. Now let's just wait until it gets deployed. Now our CloudFront distribution has been deployed. We can just copy this URL and let's visit it. You'll find that our URL is getting loaded and all the CSS and other things are also getting loaded. Let's try to reload it. You'll find that the latency is very low. You'll find that all of the things are getting loaded under 100 milliseconds. So that's really very good. That's the main benefit of using CloudFront with AWS S3. You can just find that it's just taking less than 100 milliseconds to load all the files. Like it's only taking so less time. And all of this thing, you can just find it's getting hit from CloudFront. Since it's static file and when we are using CloudFront, it will have very less latency to load all the files. Like if we search the location, it will also load the data. So that's how we deploy static application in AWS S3. So now you might be thinking what to do if you do some changes and you need to update. So if we do any changes, it will be the similar step. You will be uploading the files inside the specific folder. Again, you'll be uploading it directly. Either you can delete the files. If you think that you have did too many changes and you want to delete the files, you need to upload the files here again after generating your build. And then inside your CloudFront, you need to invalidate the data because old cache still stays in the edge locations. So in that case, you need to just call invalidation and pass the wildcards as /star so that it gets invalidated. Currently, as you can see, if we inspect and reload the page, you'll find that all of them are getting a hit from CloudFront. It means that data is coming from CloudFront, not our S3 bucket. Now, if we invalidate, let's say if we invalidate all the objects, let's do this invalidation. It's in progress. Now our invalidation is complete. If we try to reload this page, we'll find it's taking too much time to load the data because we have invalidated the data. It's loading more than 1 second. If you view the data, you will see that we are getting a mess from CloudFront, but this is for the first time because it's loading the data from S3 bucket, so we are getting a mess. But if we refresh the page, you will find that all of them are loading under 150 milliseconds, so that's quite really very fast.